All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a tool that's making some serious waves in the developer community, Claude Flow. And it's built on this really wild idea. What if you could orchestrate a whole team of specialized AIs, kind of like a Hive-Mind, to build your software for you? So let's get into it.
So if you're a dev, you've definitely felt this, right? Building with AI these days isn't just about writing a slick algorithm. No, you're wrangling this massive, sprawling ecosystem of models and agents and workflows and tools. I mean, it's getting super complicated super fast. But what if you could take all that chaos and orchestrate it like a conductor leading a symphony?
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll talk about that orchestration challenge. Then we'll introduce Claude Flow and its really unique Hive-Mind setup. We'll compare its two main modes of operation, look at some pretty incredible performance stats, and then we'll wrap up by talking about what all this means for the future of development.
All right, first up, the AI orchestration challenge. Because, this isn't just about writing code anymore. The whole game has changed. The best developers out there today, they're not just coders anymore. They're more like orchestrators. They have to figure out how all these different AI bits and pieces talk to each other, how they share information, and how they all work together on one big goal. And that's the messy, complex part that Claude Flow is trying to solve.
Okay, so we've set the stage with the problem. Now, let's introduce the solution. Claude Flow. Whoa, okay, that's a mouthful. Let's break it down. It's an alpha, yeah, but it's built for the big leagues, for enterprise scale. The Hive-Mind Intelligence part, that's the secret sauce. We'll get to that in a sec. Neural pattern recognition is basically how it gets smarter, recognizing problems it's seen before. And those 87 advanced MC-free tools, think of them like a superhero's utility belt for the AIs, giving them everything they need to do their jobs. This is way more than a coding buddy. It's a whole development platform.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. Let's peel back the layers and look at what makes Claude Flow so different. This whole Hive-Mind architecture.
And I gotta say, this analogy is just perfect. So instead of having one giant AI that tries to do everything and probably gets confused, Claude Flow has a queen AI. Its only job is to be the project manager, the master coordinator. It gets the big picture, and then it delegates all the real work to specialized worker agents. It's literally taking a cue from nature and applying it to building software. Pretty brilliant.
And this is what makes the whole thing work. It's all about specialization. The Queen agent, it doesn't write any code. Its job is to manage. So it could say, hey, architect agent, you go design the database, while another one, the researcher, is off figuring out the best APIs to use. Once there's a plan, the coder agents and tester agents jump in and work at the same time. See, it's all about delegating. That's how you tackle these massive, complex projects without everything falling apart.
Okay, so the theory is cool, but let's get practical. As a developer, how do you actually use this thing? Well, Claude Flow gives you two main ways to work with it, Swarm and Hive-Mind. And you'll use them for different things. Basically, which one you pick really just comes down to the size of your task. Think of the Swarm command as your quick and dirty tool. You just fire it off for one-off jobs, like, hey, fix this bug, or go refactor this piece of code. Done. But the Hive-Mind command, that's for the long haul. That's for your main project. It creates a session that remembers everything about the project, so you can build out huge applications over days or even weeks. And this is the really cool part. They work together. So you kick things off, right? You spawn a Hive-Mind for a big feature. Let's say user authentication. Now that Hive knows everything about your user auth system. Then later on, you need to add something smaller, like a password reset. You just use a quick Swarm command. And because it can tap into the Hive-Mind's memory, it already gets it. It's smart. It's efficient.
Okay, the whole concept sounds amazing, right? But does it actually work? Does it perform? Well, let's look at the proof. The numbers don't lie.
Okay, get ready for this first number because it is absolutely staggering. This is from something called SWE-Bench, which is a super tough test. It asks the AI to fix real-world bugs from huge projects like Django and scikit-learn. Now, to put that in perspective, the best systems before this were getting around 50%. 50. So hitting almost 85%, that's not just a little better. That is a gigantic leap. It tells us this Hive-Mind thing really works for complex, real-world problems.
All right, next up, the toolkit. The AI agents have 87 different tools they can use. And we're not just talking about generating code. I mean, they have tools to mess with the file system, run commands, check performance, even work with GitHub directly. It means the AI isn't just dreaming, it's doing. It's working in a real dev environment, managing the whole process.
And of course, the one we all care about, speed. How much faster can you get things done? This chart is showing a speed up of almost 3 to more than 4 times faster. 4 times. And that huge boost in productivity, it comes from the Hive-Mind being able to do things at the same time, in parallel. So while one agent is coding a feature, another one is writing the test for it. It's a massive force multiplier.
So, a tool this powerful, where does it go from here? Let's take a step back and look at the big picture, the roadmap for what's next.
Right now, we're in the alpha stage, and that already has the core Hive-Mind system we've been talking about. But if you look at the roadmap, you can see the plan. The beta is coming soon, and that's going to make the swarm intelligence even smarter and add more cognitive computing power. And the endgame? A stable, production-ready version in 2025. That's when this goes from a cool experiment to a full-blown platform you can rely on.
You know, the project's own website asks this question. Ready to experience the future of AI development? And that really is the question, isn't it? Because this isn't just a slightly better tool. A hive mind of AIs building software. That's a fundamental shift in how we think about development.
And that brings us to the final, big question we have to ask ourselves. If an AI can orchestrate its own team of specialists, to design, to code, to test, and to deploy an entire application from just a simple prompt, then what's our job? What does it mean to be a developer anymore? Do we become the visionaries, the ones who set the high-level direction, the ultimate conductors of this AI orchestra? It's a wild future to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.